I always start my practices with an essential oil just to bring me into the right here, right now. And there's 5 different oils that I use, like that are um, the best, like that you need. No other ones. But definitely lavender, not only because it's a beautiful color, it's one of my favorite colors, but it cures a lot of different things and it just brings in that calming. But I won't take up too much more of your time about the essential oils. But if you do have something that you can just maybe lavender doesn't speak to you, that's kind of a I know a few weird people that that happens. It's just so much so, and it just kind of calms you down.
Yeah.
Uh, and not only that, it has a lot of other medicinal purposes as well. Lavender that I'm just finding out about. I had a canker sore in my mouth, and I just been swishing with it. It's really helping a
Oh,
lot.
really? Okay, that's good to know. Wow, great
And
tidbit.
a lot of men don't like it going on in the house because I have some friends that go, oh, I'd love to have a diffuser going all day, but my husband doesn't like it. That's why it's really nice to just put a little bit on your wrist so you can keep it really isolated. Or I have some bracelets with some aromatherapy beads on it, so you can just kind of activate that area anytime and just take a hit whenever you need it.
Great
Too.
idea. Yeah, and I've got one of those as well. I never think of wearing it, so that's perfect. Thank
Uh,
you.
yeah. So just gonna activate and just take that smell in. And then just sitting back in our chair and just rolling those shoulders down and back and just closing our eyes and coming into our space, letting go of our day so far and a day to come. And just be present with me for the next little while. And so then I'll just start with a breath. So visualizing the breath coming in through the nose, bring it all the way down to your belly, fill it up like a big balloon. And then as we exhale, let's exhale out our mouth. Have that exhale a little bit longer than the inhale. You just feel the shoulders drop, the jaw release. You can do that a couple more times. Just inhaling through the nose, bring it all the way down to the belly, fill it up like a big balloon. And slower exhale out the mouth. Good things happen in threes. Let's do it one more time. And slower exhale. You might notice that you feel better already. Right? Breath
You?
is important, and we don't take a deep enough breath to get it all the way down to our belly because we've been just breathing up here for so long. Just life gets anxious, and this is where we breathe. But we really need to get that breath down to have a really good quality breath. And so if you improve your quality of your breath, you can improve the quality of your life. So that's a really easy fix right there, Carol.
It's fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous. It was like
So
a
the
little internal massage almost.
and next we just can move away from the back of the chair a little bit. And like I said, we're just going to warm things up from the top of our head. So just moving our ear over to one shoulder, not the shoulder up to the ear, just opening up the other side of the neck. And then on our next inhale, we'll just bring our head back to center, so up nice and tall. And then exhale over towards the other side. And maybe the other side's a little bit stuck. And that's okay. But we want to know how it feels, okay? People are always worried about what it looks like, you get the ego involved, but it's not what it looks like, especially at our age, girl. We want to, what does it feel like? You can feel that stretch in the side of the neck. Perfect. You're doing it. That's what you want. So on our next, we'll just bring it up and then we'll bring our chin in towards our heart. And just checking in with those shoulders to relax or drop down. And then as we inhale back up, and then just lengthen up towards the sky. It's not so much a crunching in the back of the neck, it's just a lengthening of our neck, lifting that chin up towards the sky. And then slowly bring it back to center. Good. And so you can do that from side to side, back and forth. Just Again, just bringing in the awareness to that area, Carol. And then we drop down to the shoulders where we just do some shoulder rolls. So rolling those shoulders up and back behind us. And there might be some clanking and banging going on, but that's okay. This means we got to do a little bit more. And then bringing those shoulders forward. See how that feels. And then maybe want to get the elbows into it as well. They want to join the party. And then maybe even the whole arm. Just bringing it forward. Like we're Michael Phelps or something here, just doing some butterflies. Good. Now I can just bring it back down, roll those shoulders around, just see how that feels. That feels much better already. And bringing our fingertips by your sides, we're just going to do some arm sweeps. So with this one, Carol, we're just going to bring our arms up to where they stop. So maybe they don't reach all the way up, but if you can kind of bring them close together, that feels okay. And then exhale, bringing those hands back down. So any amount of arm sweeps here, you're just inhaling up and then exhale it back down. Inhaling and exhaling. Now this time as we go, Carol, we're going to inhale it up and we're going to twist over to one side. So maybe that one arm is going to come to the back of the chair, the side of the chair. We're just going to have a nice gentle twist. And then the other hand in front is just going to kind of rest on the top of the leg or the side of the leg and just looking over that shoulder, any amount. But right here, we want to pay attention to the breath. If it feels a little restricted or chopped off again, we want to just back off on that twist because we do want to breathe. Remember, it's number one. So if we're blocking off the breath, we're kind of lost the whole point of this twist. So as we inhale, lengthening up, and then exhale, looking over that shoulder a little bit deeper if that's available. And then on our next inhale, we're just going to bring ourselves back to center, bring those arms up above our head again. And then exhale, let's do the other side. Let's even it out. So that other arm's going to come to the outside of the thigh or leg, and the other arm's going to just hang out the back of the chair, the side of the chair, and then looking over the other shoulder. And then we'll inhale it back and bringing those arms back up. And then exhale. And then just bringing those hands to rest on your thighs here. Carol, we're going to do a pose called cat-cow. So it's just, moving the spine back and forth, just giving it some mobility. So on our next inhale, we're just going to lengthen our chin up towards the sky as drop those shoulders away from our ears. And then as we exhale, we're going to round our back towards the back of the chair. So bringing our chin in towards our heart this time. On our next inhale, we're going to lengthen up towards the sky. Big inhale. And then as we exhale, let's round our back behind us again. Good. And inhale it back up. And exhale. Okay. So moving on, we're going to go down to our hips. And we're just going to move from side to side. Just checking in with those hips today, how they're feeling. Just rocking from side to side. Yeah, we're good to go. We're going to make some circles with those hips. Just coming onto one and then the other. And maybe those circles get a little bit bigger. Maybe even getting the shoulders in. Oh, and Carol, a lot of these poses that I'm doing right now is really nice for when you're traveling. Say if you're stuck on a plane for a long distance, you can do these poses pretty easily just because you want to keep things moving, especially in a plane just being stagnant for so long.
That's a great suggestion. Thank you. Especially now that we're coming into the season where so many of us are traveling, right?
Yeah. And then slowly bring those circles back up and let's change directions. So going the other way again, small circles to begin with. Maybe making that circle a little bit bigger, and then bringing the shoulders into it again. Again, and maybe if you have a stranger beside you on the plane too, maybe you can just really freak them out and, kind of play with them a bit. And Ooh. And sitting up nice and tall again. Okay, this time we're going to bring one knee in towards our heart. Okay, so you can interlace your fingers just underneath that kneecap, and then pointing your toes down towards the earth, and then up towards your shin, and just back and forth. Good. And let's bring that leg back down, and let's bring up the other one. And flex and point on this side. A little bit more clicking and banging going on this side. Good. All right. That kind of things warmed up. We're going to come on to that first knee again, Carol. Just bring it in towards your heart. And this time we're going to bring it over top of the other leg. So it's kind of a number 4 shape with our legs here. Okay. So this is really good for those hips. And this is a pose that you can do laying down, standing up. It's just a cure-all for those hips. And it's very gentle. It's very accessible to a lot of people, and the safest as well. It's not one of those fancy ones where, you know, you're putting a lot of weight on a joint or anything like that. This is very safe. So again, another nice pose you can do while you're traveling, not while you're driving. I don't care if the cruise is on, you know, in a plane again, or if you're a passenger. But while you're in this pose, you want to kind of deepen this stretch a little bit more. Can you feel that in the hip, Carol?
I really can, actually, especially my right hip.
Yeah. You can kind of be the bus driver on this pose. If this is a little bit too much, just bring yourself back up, you know, out of that fold. But if it feels okay, you can fold any amount. But if you do, just making sure that you don't put any weight on that knee. Really important that you treat your knees like your little sister. You want to really protect them. So no kind of like pushing or yanking down on those. You just, you know, you can stay right there. That's fine. And just be really protective of them. Okay. So never want to put any weight on any joint. So even with this leg, you know, that's on top, it's behind that kneecap. Inhale, back up. And remove that leg. Give it a thanks. And then we'll move on to the other side. I like to rock from side to side a little bit. I'm over 40 now. So, you know, I don't want to jump to the next side or whatever. So let's take our time as we transition to each side. And let's bring up that other knee and place that leg over again. Again, I'll just go into a little bit more description on this side, Carol. So the number 4 shape again, but that leg that's on, you know, it's supporting us, just making sure that that knee and that ankle are kind of in line-ish. Okay, so you don't want that, you know, way out front or way behind. You want it kind of right underneath, just lots of support. Okay, and again, you get to be the bus driver here. If you want to fold forward, feel that a little bit more in the hip. Not today, come back up. So you can feel that out. Again, keeping the weight away from the knee joint. And then that other leg is well behind that other knee. Another, I just thought of too, Carol, if that, I've had some students that, you know what, they're like, you know what, I've had some hip things, whether surgery or whatever, and they can't do that, unfortunately, a block. So one of those blocks, or even one of those Rubbermaid stools, you know what I'm talking about? You know, you need to get the cupboard there. Just one that you can just put in front, and you can feel something in that as well. So that's another too, if that's not available for some. Okay. And then we can come back up. Again, release that top leg and bring it down. And you know, we can get into a few more poses, but I'm you know about time. So we'll just head right down to the toes. So we'll just rock back and forth here with our toes, you know, just grounding ourselves. So rocking onto the toes and onto the heels, back and forth. Again, waking up those legs, really nice. Good, so there we go. We've got the feet all the way up to the top of the head. Feel a little bit more, mobility and shoes and joints. We can do a little bit more. We can go down to the mat. I'm just going to get some stuff out of the way. Get the chair out of the way. And like I said, I have crouchy knees, so I really like a blanket of some sort underneath my knees at all times, so it can stay there a little bit more. And I have some students that really are not, no, I'm fine. They kind of push through, and I'm like, I don't know why you want to push through. If it feels better on your joints, just put a bloody blanket down.
Yeah, agree. Agree, because I have grouchy knees as well. Yeah, and it really, it's so distracting that you're really not getting the benefit.
Right? So yeah, it makes a world of difference, just having a little bit of cushioning. It might be a pain, if you're going out to a class or whatever, but it's well worth it. It'll be a long hour if you the knees quite a bit during a practice.
Yeah.
So, and then again with our blocks here, like I was saying before, Carol, it just brings the earth up to you, not the other way around. And my block is actually quite big because I am. So my hands are big, and so it's just a perfect grip for my hand, these large blocks. And if we just come down to hands and knees here, just making sure that our wrists are right underneath our shoulders, and then our knees are right underneath our hips. And we can work those hips again, just like we did before with our circles from side to side. Again, just noticing how that's feeling. Just always being mindful as we go throughout our practice and listening to your body. Okay, there's no more pushing through. That was for the silly 20, 30-year-olds. We really got to listen to our bodies now. And if that one side doesn't feel quite as available as the other side, yeah, just be aware of it. Don't go as deep. And then with that cat-cow I was showing you in the chair before, just bringing our back up towards the sky, tucking our chin in towards our heart, and top of the head reaches down towards the ground. And just keeping that spine nice and fluid, and then dropping the belly down towards the earth, and then looking up towards the sky. Again, just to where you stop. Don't think, oh my God, I got to look at the ceiling. No, you're just having that intention. Okay, and then rounding our back up towards the sky again. And then dropping the belly down and then looking up towards the sky. So those are some of the things that we have. Oh, and then we've got our strap here, Carol. So we're talking about that. You can use anything around the house. So maybe an old cord or string, a tie, a scarf, a towel, anything that's going to allow you to have some sort of opening, so it's nice and long that you can just use this strap and just, it helps us get into those poses and maybe even staying a little bit longer. So just bringing that strap behind your head. And again, if that doesn't feel good, just back off, bring it a little bit further out in front. Okay, so just listening to your body again. If that feels okay, just moving that strap over to one side, feel a nice stretch in the side body, big smile on our faces. Some people look so serious when they do yoga. I'm like, oh my God. Relax, just yoga. Inhale up, and then exhale over towards the other side. Good. So those are nice stretches right there, maybe even opening up toward the sky one more time. And then as we exhale, just bring that strap out in front and then release it all the way down to the ground. Now we talked about shoulders a bit too, Carol, while we got a strap in our hands. This is a nice one to do. And again, just be aware that, not too much, not too little. You're always looking for what's right for your body tonight or to anytime. So having a strap or whatever, just have it loosely in one hand. I've got the strap, so I can just dangle it off my thumb. And then I'm just going to bring it back behind my head and grab a hold of that strap behind us. So this is a really nice opener. So those elbows are kind of moving back behind you. Again, you can be the bus driver here. I have a pretty wide stance on this strap, but I can still feel the opening.
Oh yeah.
So we're opening up the heart, the shoulders, yeah, the arms. There's a lot of real estate going on here.
Yeah. A
Yeah.
really simple move, but oh man, yeah. I'm feeling that.
Yeah, it's awesome. And it's just the strap just makes it that much more accessible. And you can feel the benefits and stay here just a little bit longer. All right. Instead of trying to grab, the other fingers or grab the back of your shirt or whatever. Just the strap just helps a lot. And then we release that, Carol. Maybe open up our arms just like, oh, it's Christmas morning. And moving to the other side. So just moving your prop over to the other hand and then grabbing the strap dangling down and then opening up again. Just staying here for a couple more deep breaths. And we can release that again, Carol. Open it up. And get rid of that strap. Now, next thing is was talking about was balance pose. And if people have really bad balance, again, just use the wall, use a chair, just anything that's not moving at the time to just, until you feel a little bit more confident that you can get into a full-on balance pose. But absolutely, start to where you are. And I even tell students too, I've been reading books about, developing new habits. And I used to be a dental assistant for over 30 years. And so I always use the example of, okay, well, everybody's brushing their teeth tonight, right? So for 2 minutes while you're brushing your teeth, just balance on one foot as you go.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
1 minute here, 1 minute the other side. And so you can kind of remember to do that, just incorporating a habit that's already stuck in your head. Hey, I'm supposed to be doing my balance. And that's 2 minutes. And then you can just kind of go from there, just baby steps, just to improve your balance. Did you want to do a balance right now as well?
Pardon me?
Did you want to do a balance?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
I may have to turn the camera off so nobody sees me.
Well, hopefully we can get most of me in here. There we go. Oh, yeah. That was going to work out. Okay. So just standing up nice and tall and having our feet about hip distance apart. So hip distance actually is if you bring your fists together, Carol. So just bringing your knuckles side by side and then placing them in between your feet. So our hips are actually not as wide as we always think, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so just having our feet about hip distance apart.
Okay.
And just rocking from side to side on our feet, back and forth, side to side. So you can kind of feel the four corners of our feet in this pose. All right. And then engaging our thighs and standing up nice and tall, bringing that belly in towards your spine and rolling those shoulders down and back. So you're standing up nice and tall. And then the crown of your head is reaching up towards the sky. So reaching up towards the sky as we're grounding down. So really feeling that lengthening as we're standing. And just bringing our hands onto our hips to begin with. We're going to bring our weight into one leg and just focus on something in front of you that's not moving. So, just a the block on the floor I've got right in front of me. So that's not moving, and just having a steady gaze at it, and just a gentle, soft gaze, Carol. You don't have to be mad at the block. It didn't do anything. Okay. Just a nice, soft gaze. Okay. You can even put a smile on your face. So just bringing the weight into one foot, and then we're going to lift up the other knee. Okay. In this pose. Now again, don't be mad at the block. It didn't do anything. Smile on our faces. It's only balance. And then bringing that leg down. And let's do it on the other side. So bringing the weight into the other leg, a little bend in that knee, and then we'll bring up the other knee. And that's pretty easy, right? You know, but for some it may not be. You can grab a hold of the wall again, chair, till you get a little bit more confident in our poses. And I like to do my poses in 3 steps, just kind of warm things up and get a little bit more difficult. So if you want to keep moving on with this pose, Carol, we'll put a little bit more spice into it.
Okay.
You ready? I don't know.
Yes, so just an interesting observation though is that I have a harder time balancing on my dominant leg. Is that normal?
Everyone's different.
Okay.
And you know what? And it might be typical today, but not tomorrow.
Oh, true.
Every time, every day is different. It's just all over the map.
Right. Okay.
But the good thing to remember is just don't judge it. Just be aware of it and go, oh, that's a little bit more difficult. That's interesting that would happen. But anyways, let's go to the other side and just keep it really light. Yeah. So no judgment of it. Okay. So we'll put our hands back onto our hips again. Mm-hmm. Look at something in front of us that's not moving. Big smile on our faces. And then we'll bring up the other knee. And this time, maybe the knee comes up a little bit higher, Carol. Okay. And just staying here for a couple more deep breaths. And you can feel the wiggling going on. That's okay. That's what balance is all about. It's just that moving of the scales. Nothing's really stagnant, not moving. And then we'll bring that leg down. And again, just taking our time, adjusting to the other side, and then bringing our weight into that other leg. Soft gaze at something, and then bringing up the other knee. A little bit higher this time. See how it goes. Woo-hoo. And if you fall out, no big deal. And it's only yoga. Good. And then bringing that leg back down. Maybe you want to shake out those legs a little bit. All right, good things happen in 3. So we'll bring our weight into that first leg again, focusing on something, bringing up that knee a little bit more. Maybe releasing our hips this time and interlacing our fingers right underneath that knee. Yes. Yeah, good job. And again, you can't judge yourself against anyone else, you know, especially I've been doing this for a little while. But your neighbors, you know, if you're in a yoga class, you go, darn it, they're doing a much better. That's none of your business. Stay on your mat. So we'll release that knee down. Maybe shake out those legs again. Roll those shoulders down and back, standing up nice and tall, a little bend in that knee. Let's bring up that other knee and interlacing those fingers. Maybe even this time we can flex and point. And just maybe notice if this side's a little bit, you know, more challenging than the last side. Again, it doesn't matter, just awareness. Good. Maybe bringing that knee up a little bit higher. Woo. And then releasing, kick it out in front. And we're done. Shake it out.
No, my comment is that this was every bit as difficult when I was in my 20s. I just don't seem to have balance. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Practice.
Every day, a little bit at a time. It'll come. Just don't put any pressure on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that we can do a little bit more, Carol. I'm not sure how we are for time or.
Well, if we can squeeze one more in, that'd be great. Sure.
Sure. Do you want to do another balance or just maybe? Oh, you know what? No, I've got a better idea. I know what to do. Okay. So do you still have your chair nice and handy?
Yes, right here.
Okay, perfect. So we were talking about shoulders before. This is really nice for shoulders. And again, you don't have the pressure of the weight of your body in this pose. And it's really nice for releasing the lower back as well, Phil.
Okay.
So getting into this pose, having this chair, just, I don't know what I am, about 2 feet in front of me. And just standing up nice and tall in front of it. And we'll inhale those arms up, just like we did before. And then as we exhale, we're going to hinge from the hip, leading with our chin and our heart. We're going to just bring those hands down onto the chair. So I've got my hands just on the seat of the chair here. So this is our modified downward facing dog. You've probably heard this pose before. And if you've had any kind of animals, you know exactly where they're getting this pose name from. So animals do this naturally, and downward facing dog as well. So you can feel it probably already in the lower back. You can feel the kind of opening and a little bend in those knees. Those hips are a little tight. And then maybe bringing the chin in towards your heart and then dropping the head in between our arms. And this is where I really want to stress. I have a lot of friends that suffer from vertigo. So if this is not, this is as far as you want to go today, honor that and just stay right here. But if you're able to bring your head, towards, in between your arms, that's awesome. And maybe even moving the head from side to side. Now, if that's feeling okay, Carol, we can even bring our hands off the chair and just dangle them down towards your little bend in those knees again. If you got tight hamstrings, tight hips, and just dangling those fingertips down towards your, maybe the top of the head can dangle down towards the earth as well. Just notice how that feels. Feel that opening in the back of the body. Ooh. Yeah. It's really nice. And then using your body as a ladder, just bring yourself back up. So bringing one hand onto your thigh, and then the other, and just walking your hands up your body until you're standing up nice and tall again. And then you can roll those shoulders down and back.
Yeah.
And then forward. Good. So there's some tools for your toolbox today.
That's amazing. That was awesome. I feel so much better, actually. It really simple movements, and yet they pack so much punch.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Absolutely.
I wouldn't have thought that, being able to sit in a chair. And I love your suggestion of doing this when you travel. And we're on a long road trip Saturday morning or tomorrow morning. So this ought to be interesting. I'm going to be providing the entertainment, I think.
You can do yoga anywhere at all, at any age. It's just yoga for everybody. And that's what I'm going to be talking about in the summit as well, Carol, just debunking that myth that, oh, I can't do yoga. I tried that 20 years ago and I sucked and I never tried it again. Well, there's so many different variations and modifications you can do. It's so accessible, and you can feel just the benefits of yoga, after 5-10 minutes. It doesn't have to be very long, and you don't even have to go to a class sometimes. Just if you have modifications or these props to help you get in and out of the pose is super safe.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. I think this has been so, so valuable and so helpful. I can't thank you enough, Jen. This is amazing.